Okay, so last classes we completed 4 classes. Okay, so the first class is demo. The after that we seen Oracle database. What are the types of installation methods? And we installed Oracle database software. One of the method GA method. So we create the database using a DBCA method. DBCA database configuration assistant. We create the database yesterday class, and we start the services are started automatically. So we verified the services are running or not. So today we'll see. So next, how to connect the Oracle database. We installed Oracle software. Then we create the database using DBCA utility. Then how to connect the Oracle database. So any database, there are two methods are there to connect a database. One is command line mode. One is command line mode. Second one is GUI method. Command line mode. Second is GUI method. In case of command line mode, we are using SQL plus. SQL plus, there is a utility which we can use to connect the database in case of command line mode. The second method is GUI method, graphical user interface mode. If you want to connect the database via this method, you have to use, there is a tool, SQL developer, SQL developer. We have to download the SQL developer tool. We have to install on in our local system. Then we have to configure listener and tnsnames.ora. Then we have to take the details, host name, DB name, username, password. Using those all the details, we can connect the database via GM method. So we'll see how to connect the database via command line mode via GM method today. So let me connect my server. This is the Linux server. Yesterday we installed Oracle database and we created. Let me change the font size. Okay, so clear. Yes, let me switch to Oracle user. So where I am in the Oracle home directory. So let how to verify. So yesterday we create the database. With the creation of database, the services are started automatically. But after that, I stopped my. So okay. So after that, I stopped the Linux server itself. Just now I started the mission. Now I need to verify. So you can log in with any user, either root user or your own user. After login to Linux server, you have to switch to Oracle user because we installed Oracle database with Oracle user. So we switch to Oracle user. So now I need to verify whether my database is running or not. How to verify? PS minus EFA grep pmon. So PS minus EFA grep pmon. So this is the command to verify whether database services are running or not in Linux server via command line mode. So here you can say there is no services are running. Now I want to start the services. The services are not running. Just now started a server. Inside the server there is a database services are running. We created database yesterday itself. But the database services are down state currently. So how to verify the database services are running or not using this command ps minus efa grep pman. So I want to start the database services. To start the database services, we have to know first whether database is created or not in this server or not. Maybe yesterday we used some other server, we are not sure. So I have to confirm the database is created in this server or not. How to know database name, database home location, where we can find? There is a file cat/etc ora tab file. So if the database is created before on this server, there is a file is there /etc ora tab file. The database name and home location, the entry will be added automatically when you create the database using DBCA. So the entry is there. You can say let me grab. Okay, so app. You can say you can grab with any keyword in this line. I grep with the app. Yes, this is the line app is there. So this is my DB name. This is my Oracle home location. So inside this file, we have database name under home location. That means yes, the database created inside in this server only. If we don't have this line, that means in this server database doesn't created on this server. So we confirmed the database created in this server. The database name is HRMS. The home location user one app Oracle product 96 DB home underscore one. Okay. Now I want to connect the database HRMS database. Before connect the database, you have to set Oracle home. How to set the Oracle home? Dot space Ora env. There is a utility Ora env. You have to set the Oracle database ID and home location. When you give, when you fire this command dot space Ora env, it will ask you which database you want to connect. Suppose I want to connect my database HRMS. Yes, when you give database name, it's automatically set this Oracle home location. So this is the database name. What is the home location? This is the home location. When you give this DB, the respective home location, it's set automatically. Now I want to find Oracle home and Oracle SID. So whether it is it's set automatically or not. Echo dollar Oracle home. Yes, you can say yes. This is the variable. It holds this home location. Means when you give this DB name, it will set automatically DB home location. So what was the DB name? Echo dollar Oracle underscore SID. Sorry. These are the variable names. We have to give capital letter. Oracle underscore SID. You can say what database here you given? Yes, that value it can hold this variable. Oracle SID means HRMS. Right database I set and it set automatically home location. Now I can connect the database. So now SQL plus slash as sysdba. Can say connected to ideal instance means currently the database services are not running. If the database services are not running, when you give this command, it shows like that. Means connected to an ideal instance. Means it's not live instance. Means the database services are not running. We connected ideal instance. We have to start the services. How to start the services? Startup. This is the command which we can use to start the Oracle database services. Can say Oracle instance started, allocated some memory, opened, database mounted, opened. So now you can say show PDBs, pluggable databases. Yes, HRMS PDB1. Exit. Now you can verify OS level ps-ef grep pman. Yes, now database services are running. I started manually using startup command. So this is how we are start the database services if the database services are not running. Now we want to stop the services. Again, you have to connect the database first. I want to shut down, stop the services, shut immediate. Shut immediate to stop the database services, startup to start the database services. We will discuss in detail startup, what are the startup modes available, what are the shutdown modes available like Postgres. Just simple, how to start the services means just SQL plus slash sysdba. Then if the database services not running, it will show like this connected to ideal instance. Then you have to start the services startup command. If you want to stop the services, shut immediate. Oracle instance shutdown. Now exit. You can verify now ps-grep pman. Now there is no services are running. We stopped using shut immediate command. Now again, if you want to start the services, let me SQL plus slash as sysdba. Can say connected to an ideal instance. We connected ideal instance means database service not running. I need to start up. Startup command. It going to start the services. So this is how we are start the DB services, stop the DB services. Okay. So we came to know how to connect the database via command line mode. If the database services are running, yes, directly we can connect. If not running, we have to using SQL plus utility. We have to connect the ideal instance. We can start the services using startup. If you want to shut down, shut immediate. Okay, this is about command line mode. The other method is, what is the other method? GUI method. How to connect the database via GUI mode, graphical user interface. Any queries for this command line mode? Means how to connect the database, how to verify whether database services are not running or not. If not running, how to start the services. If it is running, how to shut down the database services. Any queries from anyone? Yes. Okay. So we'll see other method. So I want to connect the database via GUI mode. So in this mode, what is the tool we are using? SQL developer. SQL developer means SQL developer. So we have to install this SQL developer in our local system, not Linux machine. So this is the server. Here my database is running. In this server my database is running. Yes or no? PS minus EF grep pman. Yes, my database is running. What is the database name? HRMS. So what is the host name where the database is running? To get the host name, just give host name. In this is the host name. Let me keep the host name. Where my database is running? Yes, this is the host name. So what is the database name? HRMS. What is the username? Sys. Default user. Sys password. Yes, we know Oracle because yesterday while creating the database we given password sys user Oracle. What was the port number? Default port number 1521. If you have these all the details, we can configure the connection inside the SQL developer. Then connect the database. So in real time application users, they are using SQL developer to connect the database. So we have to share these details after build Oracle database server. What was the host name? What was the database name? Which database you created? Application users, they want to configure this database. So user means we have to create the user application user specific own users we have to create. This is the default user. We don't provide this user to anyone. As a DBA, we have to log into this user. For application users, we have to create their own users inside the database. And we have to provide the access, username and password. Then default port number, our database is running with the default port number that is 1521. So these are the details we have to share to application team. Using these details, they configure their side inside SQL developer, they connect the database. So let's see as a DBA, how to install the SQL developer, then how to configure the connection inside the SQL developer, then how to connect the database. So these are the high level steps to configure SQL developer to establish the connection via SQL developer. So you can say, make sure you have to add IP address details into /etc host file, /etc host entry details, /etc host file. Host entry details. Make sure you have to add host entry details. Host entry details inside /etc inside /etc host file. Next, check the listener status. Check the listener status. There is a listener file we have to configure. Listener means in Oracle, what are the connections which is receiving the first background process? Listener. The listener should be up and running. If you want to connect the database via remotely, the listener should be up and running in Oracle database. Just today we'll configure the listener and tnsnames.ora file, then configure the connection via SQL developer. In coming sections, what was the how the listener is working, how to stop and start, what is the use of this listener in depth we will discuss in the coming sessions. So check the listener status by default in when you create the Oracle database 19c. So we don't have listener file. We have to create the listener file. We have to using this configure listener.ora file under Oracle Home Network Admin. Where it was located? This is the location. Inside this location, we have to create a listener file. Listener file contains the database name, host name, port number, these are all the details. Next, start the listener. Next, configure tnsnames.ora. Check the connections. Under same location. Next, stop the firewall. Check the connection. We are trying to connect remotely while connecting any database connection. Why? If you want to establish the database connection remotely on the database server side, you have to stop the firewall. In Postgres also same. Here also Oracle database server, we have to stop the firewall until unless it won't allow to establish the connection. How to stop the firewall? Systemctl stop firewall D. Next, now configure the connection in SQL developer. Then connect the database. That's it. These are the high level steps to configure SQL developer. We can connect the database via GUI tool, that is SQL developer. Okay. So let me check the listener status. Okay. So CD Oracle Home. Where it was located, listener Oracle Home. Yes, go to network admin. This is the full path of listener under tnsnames.ora files location. Oracle Home means Oracle Home, it holds, this is the value. When you give CD $Oracle Home means automatically we went to this location. After that, network admin. Inside this location, we have to configure listener file under tnsnames.ora file. Let's see, is there any files are there? No. There is no listener file. There is no tnsnames.ora file. If you want to establish the connection remotely to this HRMS database, we have to configure the listener because listener is the main background process which is listening all the connections and accept the connections if the user having proper privileges. So we have to make sure configure the listener. We have to start the listener services. How to configure the listener? By creating listener.ora file. Okay. So let's see whether listener is there any listener is running or not. How to check the listener is running or not? LSNR CTL. By for checking the listener process, we have to use utility LSNR CTL. Listener control. LSNR CTL status. Nothing is there. It's not running. Can say so. No listener means right now there is no listener. We have to configure the listener. The same output here we keep. Can say so. Check the listener status. To check the listener status. To check the listener status. This is the command. LSNR CTL status. If you want to start the listener, LSNR CTL start. If you want to stop the listener, LSNR CTL stop. To connect the database, we are using SQL plus utility. To check the listener status, LSNR CTL is the utility which we can use to check the listener status, to stop the listener, to restart the listener, to stop the listener. So this is the utility which we can use to control the listener. Either if you want to stop the listener, yes, you can do that, the same utility. If you want to start, if you want to restart. Now we verified the listener is not running. When you give LSNR CTL command, it's saying no listener. You can say TNS 12541, TNS, no listener. Okay. Next step, we have to configure the listener.ora file by creating this file and adding this all the details. We have to configure the listener. Where we can create the listener? What is the default path for listener and tnsnames.ora? Oracle Home Network Admin. Oracle Home Network Admin. Inside path, inside this location, we have to configure the listener, creating this listener.ora file. So what we can add inside this listener file, you can say listener equal to description list, description equal to address protocol, TCP protocol, host equal to where your database is running. Yes, this is my database host name. What was the port number? We have to give the right port number, right host name. Then SID list listener, SID list description equal to global database name. What for which database you want to configure the listener. So this is fixed for all the databases to configure the listener. Just change the host name, port number, DB name, and home location. These all the details you can change with respect to database. The remaining, the syntax is same to configure the listener. This is where we are configure the listener manually by adding these details in real time. So means we can configure the listener. There is a utility netmgr. Netmgr, that is for GUI method by graphical user interface. We can configure netmgr. This is the utility. We can configure the, just you have to select the listener name, select the DB name. It's automatically create this file, adding these all the details. Or you can manually, you can add these details by changing the, by giving the right host name, right port number, right DB name, right home location. Anything is fine. Either you can create manually or using netmgr, we can configure the listener first. Let me go and create the listener file. You can say this is the listener.ora where we are in, yes, the same location, vi listener.ora file. Click on I. You have to add these details. Yes, my database host name, same host name. If you want to configure different host, change the host name. Your database is running on the default port number, yes, fine. If it is different port number, give the different right port number. What database you want to configure? Change the DB name, global database name, SID name, and give the right DB home location. So these are the details we have to, by using these details, we can configure the listener. Yes. Save this file, WQ, yes. Now you can say cat listener.ora. Yes, we added these details. So after configuring listener file, we have to start the listener. How to start the listener? LSNR start. LSNR start. There is a utility to start the listener. Now you can say listener is started. So now you can check the status, STATUS status. Yes, it's giving some information. When you give LSNR now it's giving some information. That means listener is running. Alias listener. The listener name is listener. Uptime. Just 30 from 30 seconds onwards, it's up. So listener log file, you can say this is the listener log file. So this listener configure for, this is the service HRMS. HRMS is the service DB name. We configured listener for this DB HRMS database. Okay, LSNR status. Now you can say HRMS, our database is HRMS. Yes, the listener is currently it's running. It's up from 56 seconds. This is how we are configure the listener, then start the listener. Next, configure the tnsnames.ora. To check the connections, we have to configure v8 tnsnames.ora. Inside this, we have to keep DB name and host name, port number, service name. Service name means it's a DB name only, HRMS. By adding these details, we can configure the tnsnames.ora. Let me configure vi tnsnames.ora. In the coming next class, we'll discuss in detail listener and TNS. Just to connect the database via SQL developer, for time being, we are configure these two files, tnsnames.ora, insert, click on I, just you can save this file. Now we have both the files are existing. Now I can connect my database remotely. Yes, we can connect the database remotely. If you don't have listener.ora file, we cannot connect. It should be listener is file is existing and also listener is up and running. How to check the listener up and running? LSNR CTL status. Yes, my listener is running. Clear? Any queries from anyone as of now? Okay. Now stop the firewall. How to stop the firewall? System CTL. Okay. Go to root account. System CTL. Let me check the status. Status firewall D. Can say now firewall is running. Even though if you set up all the things, if you try to connect the database via remotely this database, the firewall, it won't allow to establish the connection. We have to stop the firewall, make sure. In real time, it's automatically, it stopped. But in time being our local system, we have to stop the firewall. So let me stop firewall D. So let me check the status. No, it's not running. We are good. Now switch to Oracle user. Set up the Ora ENB HRMS database. Yes. Now you can verify PS minus EF grep pman. Now I configured a listener file and tnsnames.file. So you can say we can check the connection. TNS ping HRMS. So that means able to pinging my database HRMS. You can say it's pinging. Okay. It should give the acknowledgement. Okay. That means I can able to connect via database remotely this database. This is for checking the connection. This is the DB name. TNS ping means able to pinging or not. If you don't have tnsname.ora file, we cannot check this connection whether it is a pinging or not. If it is pinging means yes, we can able to connect database remotely from anywhere. Okay. So now I verified the connection. Yes, the connection it's pingable. The database service name pingable. How to check TNS ping space DB name? Yes, it's giving okay 0 millisecond within the fraction of seconds able to pinging this service. Now I need to download a SQL developer. Where you can download SQL developer? You can say so you have to download and install SQL developer. Let me SQL developer pre-download. This is the GA tool. You have to download this SQL developer. What is the latest version? 24.3. Okay, you can see here. So SQL developer, where you want to install this SQL developer? On Windows local system only. So Windows 64-bit, click on this. It's going to start the download. Let's say go to downloads. Let it. Yes, it's downloading. Let's wait. You can see. So let it download. Let it finish. Once download finish, we have to install the SQL developer. Then we have to configure the connection inside the SQL developer. Then connect the database. We'll see. You can say it's downloading. SQL developer 24.3.0. That is the SQL developer version number 24.3. Any queries from anyone? Meanwhile, yes, you can ask if you have any queries. Like it's SQL developer equal to PC admin in Postgres. Okay, there how download and install PC admin, how to configure the connection inside the PC admin, how to connect the database via PC admin. The same functionality it will support here SQL developer. Nothing is there. There also, if you want to connect the database, you need the details, database host name, port number, database name, username, password. Let me go to downloads location. So you can see here, this is my file. So, okay. So let me double click. You can see. So there is a SQL. Let me extract the file. Right click, extract all. Yes, extract. Let it extract. Install means just to extract the file. Then there is a SQL developer icon is there. Just you have to open that one. That's it. Okay. Let's wait. Please keep on.
Sir, we can also download Windows 32-bit or 64-bit.
64-bit only. For any operating system, nowadays all operating systems 64-bit only.
But now we are downloading JDK included files.
Yes, that is the JDK, means Java Development Kit. Some Java related files also included. We don't bother about. This is about 64-bit. Can
Okay.
say?
In
Yes.
in downside Windows 32-bit or
Yeah,
64-bit.
it's available. It's available. But in most of the operating systems nowadays, in initial days, we use a 32-bit operating system only 10 years back, before 10 years before. So the software is available for 32-bit, 64-bit, excluding JDK, including JDK. So our operating system is 64-bit. So we have to choose this one. Okay. So this for both 32 is either 32 or 64-bit. You can choose anyone. It's not a matter. Just suppose our OS is 64-bit. If you download this 32-bit, that won't work. Suppose your OS is 32-bit. If you download this, it won't work. Like this, the respective file you have to download. So our OS is 64-bit. You can download this one. Yes, the same file we downloaded. The file size is 555 MB. Okay. Let it extract. Almost done. Let's wait. Now you can say it's extracted folder. Open this. This is the SQL developer icon. So just right click, click on open. That's it. It opened the SQL developer, Oracle SQL developer. It's equal to PC admin in Postgres database. All the topics are same when you go to databases. the way of commands are different. There also command line is there. Here also there. There also GUI mode is there. Here also there. The utilities is different. The tools are different. There we are using PG admin. Here we are using SQL developer. So can say, let me remove these connections. Yesterday I configured. Okay. So can say this is a press SQL developer. There is no connections, Oracle connections. In case of PG admin, there is a we have to register the server. Here connections. So let me make a connection. How to configure the connection? Click on plus symbol. So what is this is the connection name. You can give any name. Suppose, okay, HRMS DB. This is the connection name. Username, what username? Sys user. Password, Oracle. So this sys user has to connect as sysdba. Yes, the role should be sysdba for sys user. Save password. So what was the host name? What was the host name? You can say here. Either you can give host name or IP address. That's fine. This is my IP address. Yes, database host IP address or host name. SID, service name. What was the service name? Service name, SID, database name, both are same. So HRMS. Now let me test the connection. I am established the connection to this HRMS database remotely because I'm trying to connect from local system to where my database is running on Linux server. The database is running on different mission, Linux server. SQL developer is running on my local system. So this is the remote connection. Click on test means success. The connection is I verified by using click on test. So the testing of this good success status is success. Now save the connection. Click on save. Yes, you can say the connection is saved. Click on connect. Now database is going to establish the connection. You can say HRMS DB. This is the query editor. In PG admin also there is a query editor. Here query builder means here we can write the queries and execute. So if you want to see some queries, select name comma open underscore mode from v dollar database. Yes, v dollar database is the system table. It can give the database information. What is the database name? What was the database mode? In which mode database is opening? You can see here. Let me v dollar database. Okay. Select SELE. This is the execution button, run statement. You can say, what was my database? HRMS database. So the database open read write mode only. It's not read only. Read write mode means you can run any queries, insert, update, delete, whatever. So like this, you can configure n number of connections. If you have another database on another server, yes, we can give the connection name CRMS DB. Yes, here username. If you have your own user, give the own username password. I don't have own user. I as a DB I can use sys user, sysdba role, save password, host name. Suppose oracle1.oracle.com. Suppose a CRMS database running on this host. Service name CRMS. When you click on test, it's going to test the connection whether it is a success or fail. Here it was failed because I don't have this mission. Just I give dummy details. If you have the database is really running on this mission, the database name is CRMS, then the test connection is going to success. Click on connect, it will establish the connection. Click on save, the connection is saved. Clear? Any queries from anyone, SQL developer? So if you want to see the database details, expand the database HRMS DB tables. You can see all the tables. These all are tables. Expand the table. These are all the columns. Okay. Views, database objects. We are starting SQL, right? So these all are views. View symbol like this. Table symbol like this. In Oracle, table symbol like this, SQL developer. Views, this is the symbol for views. Indexes, this is the indexes symbol. These all are default system tables, system indexes. System is created default indexes. These all are packages. Yes, these all are packages. Existing packages, procedures, these all are database objects. Functions, operators, we discussed operators, arithmetic operators, logical operators, those all. So queues tables, triggers, PL SQL objects. Like this, we can say, suppose I want to see this table definition. How can say? Can say when you click on this table, click on SQL. The table syntax it appear in this place. Can say create table, table name. This table is existing on which schema? Sys schema. How to get the table DDL? Table definition. I want to get the table definition. Table definition means this is the table DDL. Means table syntax. If you want to see this table syntax, how it was created, click on this table, go to SQL. For this table, how many columns are there? Click on columns, data, model, constraints, what are the constraints are there? Statistics, triggers. Is there any triggers of this table? Is there any dependencies are there? Is there any partitions? This table partitions are there. Indexes are there or not? There is one index is there. That is unique index. On which column? These are the columns. On these columns, index is available. Like this, we can see easy if you use SQL developer. To take the table DDL, to see the table properties, how many columns are there, what are the indexes available, what is the status, index status, if it is partition table or not, everything we can see easily. Suppose the same table in some other test environment I need to create. Select the table, go to the SQL, this create table, you can copy this and execute wherever you want to. There also its same table is going to create. Clear? Suppose there is a package is there. Yes. This is the package body. Create or replace package. Package name. There is a begin procedure. Inside the package procedure is there. This is the package. The same package, if you want to create some other environment, just copy and paste, run other environment. Like this, we can get the object DDL. If it is table, table DDL. Select the table, go to the SQL. This is the table DDL. If you want to get the view DDL, yes, click on the view, go to the SQL. Can say SQL. This is the, it's generating the DDL. Can say generating DDL. Create or replace, force, view name. Can say grant, read. This is the grant option to give the permissions. Like this, we can get the table DDL. We can run the queries, whatever the queries if you want to. If you want to create the tables, create the views, or if you want to see the data, all the SQL statements you can run here. If it is GI mode, this is the place where we run the SQL statements. You can execute. If you want to execute, you can execute. If you want to run any type of SQL statements. To see the table definition, select the table, go to the SQL. There you can see table DDL, partitions, columns, triggers, all the things. Okay. Any queries from anyone? Next. Let me can say here. So there is a other users. There is a other users. If you create any schemas, we can see schemas under other users. Where you can see the schema means user. Schema or user both are same in Oracle database. So how can see schemas are users? When expand the database connection, come down, there is other users are there. Okay. So if you create any schema, the schema will be list out here in this other users options. Okay, these are the default schemas. These many schemas created in Oracle database. So if you expand this schema, yes, each and every schema what we have? Database followed schemas, schemas followed objects. Each and every schema we have tables are there, views are there, indexes are there, procedures, pack. If you create any table, the table will be created inside this folder. Inside this schema, if you create anything, inside the tables folder it's created. These are the default schemas. Maybe it's empty objects. We don't have any tables. We don't have any views. Clear? Okay. So this is how we are establish the connection to the database remotely via SQL developer. Any queries from anyone? How to exit this connection? Just you can close. Yes. Just yes. You can hear disconnect. Disconnect. Yes, I disconnected from SQL developer. Next, close the SQL developer. Now I want to open SQL developer again. I want to connect. So where we are extracted, you can see here only extracted. Open this folder. Again click on right click open. So when you open this Oracle SQL developer, you can pin to taskbar so that it will be available in this only. No need to go to folder each and every time. Let me close. You can say I pinned. Click on this. It's going to open the SQL developer. If you don't pin, go to the extracted folder. Click on SQL developer. Then there we can click on right click, open this. Click on SQL developer. You can say it opened. So I already configure the connection. I want to connect the database. Just right click, connect. That's it. Suppose, okay, let me start the firewall here. Let me see. Let me start the firewall. If the firewall is running, it won't allow. Start firewall D. Let me check the status. Now you can say firewall is running. If the firewall is running, it won't allow any remote connections. This is a remote connection. So let me disconnect. Let me reconnect. You can say reconnect. It throws the error definitely. Let's wait. Trying to connect the database loading. We'll see whether it is connecting or not. It should not establish the connection. So there is some timeout period is there. Till that time it's trying to connect. If the timeout suppose 1 minute, within the 1 minute is trying to connect the establish the connection. If the 1 minute is over, that is the time limit. It throws the error. Can say an error was encoded performing request operation. No listener something, but actually the listener is configured. It's saying no listener cannot connect because no listener at host 0.100. So cannot connect no listener something. So we have to verify all the listener and everything is configured. At the same time, we have to verify firewall also whether it is running or not. If it is running, let me stop the firewall. Stop. Can say now you can check the status firewall. Now it's not running. Okay, now you can go and establish the connection. Just expand, click on plus, is trying to connect. Yes, establish the connection immediately, the fraction of seconds. Let me disconnect. Yes, disconnected. Remove this one. Now again, reconnect the database. Connect. Yes, connected. This is how we are connecting database via SQL developer. Even though in your server we have many databases, the same database, all the database you can configure the connections. Other database HRMS DB. First we have to configure the connection. Provide the details. Check the test connection. Click on connect. Like this, we have to configure the connection. Then that's it. The connection is saved. Then we can establish the connection anytime. The connection is already configured. Okay, so that's it from my side today.